Hello, it is DC and XCAL. I am so excited to see everybody in the live chat and replay crew for catching this on the replay. Super excited to have you here. XCAL is fending for himself for a few weeks while my mom is taking care of the grandbaby, so he might be eating some dinner while we live stream and listen to this stuff. I'm an MLM dropout. I've been in 2 MLMs. One was Mary Kay Cosmetics and 2 was Young Living. Young Living was the most recent one, and I left it in April of this year. Yes, DC and XCAL, the dynamic duo. Yep. Oh, and XCAL, we know how to get you to see the live chat now. If you're on your screen, you should see the private chat, and then there should be a comments that you can click on the side.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It's a whole new world. It's a whole new world, XCAL.
Yeah, so, now I can get sassy in chat.
Yeah. So, hello, Mel. Hello, Melissa, Tanya, Sonia, Sky, Deanna, Fizzle Sticks, Mermeow, what's up? Janet, hello. And XCAL, if you click on the comments, you can pop them up on the screen too. So if you want to try that out. Now he has the power. You should click on that one.
Let's see. They're not clicking open, but that's all right.
Well, okay. Well,
XCAL
has half the power. So you should. I don't know why someone else could click them up there, but maybe we'll have to do a StreamYard tutorial.
Yeah, this is I'm kind of the special ed for technology, so just kind of bear with me as far as that goes.
That's okay. He's good at sales. He's bringing some experience to the chat. You don't have to be good at technology and at other stuff. And at least I can provide some value to this conversation. Everyone loves XCAL. Every time I get done streaming, I have so many DMs, and it isn't like an MLM person saying they have so many DMs. I literally get so many that's like, I love XCAL. I love your dad. Can your dad adopt me? The answer is yes. XCAL's adopting everyone in the anti-MLM community.
Whoa,
so today, I'm going to let XCAL introduce himself, but just to give you a preview, we're going to be listening to the OG Mary Kay call that got me to sign up, and we're going to let XCAL listen to it. And he's also going to tell us some good questions to ask if they, get stuck in that. XCAL, I think, needs to get his dinner, but I'm going to let him introduce himself real quick. And then
that's okay. That's all right. I'm good. I'm good. I'm not really sure I cooked it right, so maybe I'll just have to eat it later. I don't want to have any bad moments that are recorded for posterity. So what I do have to find out, though, is, I noticed that you mentioned when you mentioned Mary Kay, you kind of went like this. And then when you mentioned the other one, you went like this.
Yeah.
So are there like hand signals for different MLMs so you can kind of communicate to people like in public and nobody around you?
No, we do this for Young Living because we just got done doing a live react to this lady talking about her cancer protocol and how she does enemas with essential oils every other day from Young Living.
For her, or if she's prescribing that to other people?
It's both. It's what she does, but she also sells it. And that's what she recommends for other people as well. So that's why there was sometimes the face is being covered and it's like, what did I just watch? That is, yeah.
Right.
Well, you missed it. Yeah, there's a whole video we just did. So, sorry. Didn't mean to derail your intro, but XCAL.
You can't make this stuff up, I'll tell you.
Oh, my God.
So I'm supposed to be introing myself right now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm an old guy, and DC's dad, like she mentioned, she has 4 siblings, and I'm their dad too. And so I've been in sales and management and business for a long time. I don't necessarily have a dog in the fight about MLMs. I'm not necessarily anti-MLM, but I'm not. But I'm definitely pro transparency and pro communication and pro feedback and development. So that's kind of where I live. That's my hot button, or some of my hot buttons as far as that's concerned. And I really enjoy getting on with DC and all of her little minions and talking about stuff like this. It's fun.
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't mean that I'm not trying to be critical at all.
Oh no. Yep. She's another one of your adoptees. I think you have like 30 children now, so we're all excited.
Just send me a list. That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me give you a little bit of backstory. I got married. What in the world? I got married in. Sorry, there's a cup underneath me. Hold on. I was cleaning up today and I missed a cup. Okay. I got married in 2013. And up until that point, I had a lot of jobs. I was working for my dad. Before that, I had taught tennis for a long time. Yep. I generally, I guess, like to stay busy. So when I got married, moved to a new state, I didn't really have my normally filled schedule. And right after I got married, I got sick with mono. So I was sick for about 6 months. 2014 February rolls around, and one of my friends from church slid into my DMs and was like, hey, I'm doing this new thing. I'm trying to practice my sales pitch. Would you mind listening to it and let me practice answering questions? That's literally what she said. Okay. And so I was like, sure. It was I don't want to use her name, but it was anyways, that you know who she is, but because you can get your food if you want.
I need to go get that. Okay. Make that beeping stop.
So she slides into my DMs. I answer it. I'm totally excited. I shot the pictures for her wedding. I thought that she was being genuine in terms of wanting to ask for actual help with her sales pitch. And so I listened to it, and it turned into a 3-way call eventually. Yes, younger DC say no. Yes, I should have said no. I legitimately thought that she was literally asking me for my help. I thought that she really needed someone to practice her sales pitch with. That's how I am. I was like, of course. I'm the person that's, when everyone says, oh my gosh, what is that? I look and I say, what do you mean? What is that? I'm pretty gullible. And so I answer her questions. It sounds like a pretty good opportunity. And the call that I listened to in 2014 did not change from 2014 to now. So I called the same number because I still have the same messages on Facebook. And I recorded the call, and XCAL's gonna listen to the pitch. And what I thought maybe we could do in this chat is, XCAL doesn't have a dog in the fight. Thank you to whoever just subscribed. That's why we're flashing in the background. While he isn't pro multi-level marketing and he isn't anti multi-level marketing, he does have really good questions that he can maybe give y'all, or have y'all give your friends to ask, that maybe they could be more prepared if they are getting pitched by a multi-level marketing opportunity, and help them go into the situation with their eyes wide open, their eyes and their ears wide open, and really be more informed than just getting caught up in things that sound really good. And so the call's 14 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put our little vintage radio up on the screen, because we're just...
By the way, Jana, sorry to interrupt, but none of the plants are mine. I have a black thumb. My daughters, both DC and my her younger sister, have green thumbs, and they nurture these, and they talk to them, and they take them out to go watch movies, and dancing with them and all kinds of stuff, and that's why they're so lively and alive looking.
Yes.
If you have brown stuff in your backyard, that's what mine would look like.
Yes. Yeah. All of that XCAL's aesthetics behind him. We kind of match, though. I've got some plants growing some roots.
Probably
over
some
here.
siblings that are there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some quiet siblings.
Yes. Yes. So we're going to get XCAL's perspective and we're going to get his questions. And so if you have someone who in the future, not necessarily someone who's joining Mary Kay, but anyone, XCAL at the end of the call is going to tell us really good questions to ask, really good follow-up questions to hopefully empower you or empower someone you know to not get duped into all the other good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to press play and XCal's going to tell me if he can hear it. And we'll see if we'll see.
To avoid the charge.
Can you hear it?
I can. We're avoiding the charge for something.
Access code followed by the pound key.
That's me.
So hold on. Can you pause right here?
Yeah.
So she tells you that she wants to practice, and then she gets on a call that's recorded?
Yeah. So she said, I want you to listen to this recorded call from my director.
Oh, and then I'm going to practice what I would tell somebody who wants to join.
Yeah. So I need you to listen to it. I need you to follow the instructions. Remember the secret word at the end of the call.
Okay.
And tell me what you think.
All right.
And so then you're going to call. So I told her the secret word. I told her the answers to the questions from the call. And she said, great. Can I get on a 3-way call with you with my director? And that's what happened.
Okay. So there was really no practice going on at all.
No, it was all deception. It was all actually looking for recruits.
And that really is, that's kind of the foundation issue that I have with lots of these. I was in an organization when I was in college. I sold books for a company out of Nashville, Tennessee that's been around for a long, long time. And we recruited other college kids like ourselves, and we would go out and sell books in different parts of the country and do all kinds of crazy things, like work 80 hours a week and stuff like that. But one of the things that I felt like through the entire process that I felt like was really, really important is that we were, we were truthful in terms of how we brought people to those meetings and what we talked about. I think somebody going in to hear about a summer job is fine. Somebody going in to hear about some of the other things that were sometimes recommended. I think you have to draw the line at BS, frankly.
Yeah. Well, I wish that I would have been more. I mean, you can testify to this somewhat. I'm pretty I pretty much believe things when people tell me things. At least I did when I was younger. Where you get, I'm pretty easy to prank. I'm pretty easy to joke, other than the crying that happens, when I get upset that I just got, picked at. But I believe stuff. So when my friend, who I shot her wedding, and I thought I liked her as a person, said, hey, I really need to practice my sales pitch. Can you help me? I genuinely said, yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, this is just an energy drink with water. This is not because DC is pausing and I'm taking those alcoholic shots that I've been known to do.
Yeah. I think they were hoping you would have some alcohol to drink, but water's okay.
Yeah, mine didn't buy me any.
Oh, we have unalcoholic XCAL tonight.
Talk about a victim.
Yeah.
Talk about a victim.
Sorry, it's still beeping because
Please wait. Please enter the reference number followed by the pound key. Please wait while we prepare.
I just recorded this a couple months ago, so it hasn't changed since 2014.
Okay.
And it's 2022. So yeah, that you're gonna hear exactly what I heard. Yep.
Files. At any time, press 1 to rewind 30 seconds. Press 2 to fast forward 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Or press 5 to pause or resume.
Or press 7 to vomit.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Nikki Hill.
Let me turn it up.
I'm so excited that you took the time to listen to this fast, fun facts information. Your consultant is going to give you a free gift for your opinion and your time.
Sorry, I'm trying to turn it up.
And Mary Kay may or may not be for you, but you know what? I'm glad that you called in so that you know more about the company and why she is so excited. There are 3 things that I'm going to ask you at the end of this call. The first thing is, what impressed you or surprised you the most? Number 2, I would love to know your interest level on a scale of 1 to 4 after hearing all this information. And there will be a password at the end so that we know that you listened to it in its entirety. Well, first of all, I just want to share a little bit about the company. And I really want to share with you some of my experiences. But most of all, I want to share with you the 6 qualities that I have found in women that make them the most successful. Maybe you have one of these qualities, maybe you have 3, maybe you have all 6, but I would love to know which ones of these that you think that you possess. Number 1, women who are successful in Mary Kay are oftentimes busy people. You might think that is crazy, but actually it's the truth, because busy people are usually the best time managers, whether they're in school full time, or you're a stay-at-home mom that's busy with her children, or you're a busy grandmother, or a person who works full time. You can all be successful.
Janet, I bought all of it. I bought into all of the BS. I obviously signed up, and I was top 10 in my area for sales in our little national area. I was top 10 out of, for just sales, not recruiting, but for sales. So.
Because usually you make the best use of your time. A lot of times people are busy because they are the happiest when they are busy. That's the first quality. Number 2, women who are successful in Mary Kay usually don't know a lot of people, because a lot of the times your friends and family will say, what is my discount? Or what can I get for free? And the key is that we teach you how to work from people that you know and to build your business, because we sell something that's consumable, that people put on their face and wash down the drain, and we want to schedule follow-up appointments with them. Number 3, we look for women who are not the sales type. Why? Because
it was actually I sold a shit ton of product. I will tell you that, and I also reinvested it because that's what this lady told me to do. So I'm, welcome back, Tanya.
Because we don't want people who are pushy. We don't want to be scary Mary Kay, right? We want to sell Mary Kay. And so we look for women who just love this product and want to share it with everybody that they know. Number 4, women.
What's that?
Person live?
No, she's talking on the phone. Sorry about that. I'm talking to the plant whisperer, and she's asking whether or not this is a live call. No, it's a recorded call that actually DC listened to 8 years ago when she first heard about Mary Kay.
Are motivated by money, because you guys, Mary Kay is about giving us choices. Money doesn't make you happy, but choices could.
It's
maybe you
interchangeable,
want to have extra money for shopping, extra money for gas, extra money to pay off school loans or debt or vacations, or to save for retirement, or for your kids' college educations, or to purchase a home. What can you imagine?
Or to buy more Mary Kay.
Yep.
Number 5, we look for women who have strong family ties, whether you have a family yourself or you're strong with your parents or siblings. In 1963, Mary Kay started this company, ladies. She had been a single mom. Her second husband passed away a month before she started this company. And you know who jumped on board to help her open this company? Her daughter, who became one of her first consultants. Her other son, who gave her the money, the capital that she needed for her business. And her other son, who still, his family line works for Mary Kay. He helped her run this amazing company. And that is amazing. One of the benefits that we have, because this
now, if the person who's listening to this with XCAL is my sister, and if you could imagine the exact opposite of me, who's like has discretion, like discernment, who has like that initial.
Hold on, she's coming over.
Oh, what's up?
This is the plant whisperer, everyone.
He's the plant whisperer.
Oh.
Yep.
Works in the medical field. She's very intelligent. She's also very much like, this smells like BS to lots of things. And I don't have that. I think that gene didn't express itself when I was born. So she probably would have saw right through this. And I literally I listen to this and I'm like, oh great, I don't want to be pushy. I love my family. I have strong ties to my family. Pick me. So yeah. So and my sister is incredible and wouldn't have fallen for this. So peace out. Hi, sister of DC. Hi, sister. Everyone's saying hi. Oh, and someone said thank you for all that you do, Plant Whisperer. So Everyone's saying, "Hey sis, we are sisters now," because XCAL's adopted everyone. So yeah.
Apparently, I've adopted everyone in the chat.
Oh my god.
Is based on God first, family second, and career third. And the last quality that we look for in women who we see that are successful in Mary Kay is women who are decision makers. And sometimes this is the hardest thing for us to decide. But let me ask you this: is there ever a perfect time to start something new? There isn't. But guess what? Nothing changes unless something changes. If you are happy in your life, that is amazing. But if you're looking for something a little bit extra, this could be something that could actually help you in your business. When I started Mary Kay, I did have a lot of those qualities. I was a busy stay-at-home mom. I had retired from teaching after a year and a half, and I decided to stay home. But one thing is that we didn't have enough money. We had more month than money, so to speak. And my husband is a teacher, and now he's a principal. And so I watched my sister Heidi do a skincare.
I'll tell her.
I had been introduced to Mary Kay. I love the skincare. It helps clear up my bad skin. But I kind of needed to see it to believe it. And I watched her do a party, and I remember walking out to her car, and I said, that was great. I got dressed up. My self-esteem had been low, and I'd been around positive people, and it was fun. It was fun. And I said, Heidi, how much money did you make? And she sold $200 in 2 hours, and we make 50% of what we sell in Mary Kay. So she made $100 in 2 hours. And a lot of times people will ask me, well, Nikki, how much time does it take? That's how much time it
You see this? I needed this look that XCAL is giving right now. I needed some of that. I needed just maybe a percentage of that, because I don't know. I bought it. I bought it. I did.
Oh, gee, making $100 an hour, or $100 for 2 hours, that's $50 an hour. And that's like more than I'm making now. But the problem, what they don't say is that, how long does it take to go ahead and talk to all those people and get everything together? Now, the bottom line is this: when you're in sales, you have to work hard to be successful. Yeah. And frankly, there's nothing bad about that. And frankly, and from that perspective, if you're going to work, if you're going to say, hey, look, I'm planning on putting in 15, 20 hours a week for this. And in the beginning, I'll probably make $1.75 an hour, or whatever the case might be. But my goal is to grow it and build on it. And that's okay. Then that's great. And I think people need to hear that, because if they don't think through the process strategically, and they just listen to numbers and they get all excited, then what's going to happen is the first time they sit down and look at their checkbook and realize there's not any more money in it than what there was before, and they're working hard to get all these people that now don't like them because they're trying to get them to sign up for this sales thing. Then there's a disconnect. Yeah. And if you're gonna bring someone in that is coming in eyes wide open, then that's not a problem. But if you're the average person who comes in, doesn't think through the process like you'd like them to, like they would if they were in there on a job interview, because that's what it is. It's a job interview.
Yeah. And again, that's one thing I appreciate about when you did door-to-door sales when you were in college and after college, and when my brother did the same thing. I think the pitch looked like, you're going to be miserable for the entire summer. You're going to work harder than you've ever worked in your life. You're probably going to sweat more than you've sweated in your whole life. You may get yelled at. You may get dogs running after you, trying to bite you. And you're probably maybe going to wish that you hadn't signed up for this. So if you think that this isn't for you, you need to walk out the door right now, because there's not going to be any of those warm, fuzzy feelings that you're probably going to experience at any point in the summer, other than at the very end when you collect your check. I just feel like there was more honesty with your opportunity than what we're 5 minutes and 12 seconds into this call. And, I haven't really heard, and I like to work hard. I mean, I don't think that I'm looking for something that's get rich quick. I thought I was a people person. I don't want to appear as a pushy salesperson. If I make half of what I sell, like, that did sound good. So.
It takes, ladies. She profited $50 in an hour, and I decided 14 years ago, after watching that party, that I was going to start Mary Kay. This is how it works. It's a $100 decision. That is what you get for the starter kit. The philosophies impressed me of God first, family second, career third. The 50% profit impressed me, not just at a party, but because we do sell something that's consumable in reorders on a personal website. You can also build your team. How Mary Kay works is they pay 4 to 26% commission from the company. In other words, when I started selling Mary Kay, I didn't give any money to my sister. The company paid her for teaching me.
No.
And that's another thing.
Okay, so she says this now. I'm going to let her continue to talk. The company doesn't pay her for teaching Nikki. Every time Nikki bought volume from the company in terms of new product to replenish her inventory, her sister Heidi makes money. There was no waiting period. There's no, I'm submitting my sales, pay my upline based off what I sold. It's all based off of what you buy. And so when Nikki's talking about the company paying her sister to train her, that's not accurate. So, you know, and so I'm hearing this. It's just, I know you're laughing because I could have.
Because you and I've talked about the whole compensation thing and whether or not it's feasible to pay on sales versus pay on inventory, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. I know. It's just, I'm just talking about listening to someone as someone who had never been in multi-level marketing. And I hear, wow, the company values training so much that they're going to pay my upline to train me. I didn't make any connection that everything I bought, they immediately get paid on. I know you would have thought that. I didn't. I was like, oh my gosh, it's just so awesome. Like everyone's on the up and up. It sounds incredible. I know you and my sister are laughing at me, but that's okay. That's what I think.
We're laughing with you, DC, because you're laughing too.
We're making faces in the background here.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about DC.
Yeah.
DC. Here's the thing about DC. There's different types of consumers and people. There's innovators, there's adopters, then there's the early majority, then the late majority, and then there's traditionalists. So the people got it.
Oh my God.
DC is totally the innovator, all about the new ideas, new products.
Super creative.
She's the person to go to.
Yep.
She's going to be the latest person that has she's going to be the person that's whatever's latest on the market.
I'm going to know about it.
Yeah. So any new idea or concept or business plan, you're on board with.
Yeah.
Whereas,
certainly at least intrigued by it. Yeah.
Intrigued, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing. That's what I'm trying to say. We're giving you a hard time, but it's not.
I appreciate that. But we just need XCAL needs to give us some help. We'll keep. I'm literally gonna cut that out. So I'm not gonna cut out the whole thing. I'm gonna say the part where she said my name because we've got some unfriendly people who are being sassy in my DMs. So I'm just trying to protect my family. So the cut is around 28:30. Jessica, you are the real MVP. Thank you so much.
Ask yourself, are you teachable? Because I didn't wear any makeup. I didn't know anything about running my own business, but I love that we are in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. You have mentors in Mary Kay, and every single one of us starts with the same $100 starter kit so that we know exactly the steps to teach so that people can be successful. So what was my goal? My goal was to simply make $100 a week. Think about this. What could you do with an extra $100 a week if you committed 2 hours to your business? 8 hours a month, ladies, could give you $400 in extra income.
What?
I said shame on her.
Yeah. And again, I look back at now and I feel ashamed that I didn't ask better questions.
No, you don't need to be ashamed. No, that's not the right reaction. I mean this. The bottom line is that this kind of process is developed very, very intentionally by people that very high up in the business who've done this stuff and practiced it, and frankly, they know what they're communicating. They could communicate it differently if they choose to, but they don't. This is a recorded call that they've scripted and refined.
Yeah.
And this is not someone talking extemporaneously about her love affair with Mary Kay. It's someone who, I mean, they practiced this and they recorded it and they re-recorded it and they made it, they refined it to where it fits a certain time frame and it says exactly what they wanted to say. So for you to sit there and listen to it and think, shame on me for not thinking of all these things about it. If you don't have that background, if you don't have that expertise, then you don't even know what questions to ask.
Yeah.
And so you don't get to beat yourself up for that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's still hard to overcome that feeling of like, man, I wish I would have asked. I really wish I would have. I don't know. I wish I would have been more like you or more like my sister, because initially, now being out of it for 8 years, I could see like, really, where's the prep time for those 2 hours? What's the prep time? You're saying, oh, it's only 8 hours. Well, where are we getting those people to find the people to do these skincare classes in their homes? How much time does that take? And so at the end of this call, I'm hoping that, and again, I'm going to write down all of the suggestions that XCAL gives us, because whatever your perspective about multi-level marketing is, deceptive recruiting practices I'm not on board with that, because I feel like here she is being deceptive a little bit. And I don't know. It's just, I hope that other people can be equipped and empowered to have better questions, ask better questions, so they can go in without getting surprised when they're already in a multi-level marketing company. So.
Months in Mary Kay, I did earn the use of a free car. And there
Thank you,
are
Chelsea.
cars. That's part of how Mary Kay pays us. And I thought, no, that's just for the chosen few.
Sister, everyone wants to know where you got the plant hanger that's behind XCAL. Is it from Amazon?
When she comes back in, I'll ask her.
Okay.
So this one, right? Oops.
The other one. Yep, that one. Yep.
Success isn't for the chosen few, it's for those who choose. And so working my business consistently, that's what I encourage all of my team members to do. Just work consistently, whether that be a consistent 1 party a month, 2 a week, 3 a week. It is your goal, your business. Another thing that we have in Mary Kay is recognition. We get tons of recognition. Besides the cars, you can earn diamond rings and trips. Mary Kay has paid for my husband and I to go on a trip to Maui. We've taken profits from my sales. We've gone to Mexico, to cruises, family vacations, to Alaska. We've traveled almost all the 50 states. We've been to Europe, diamond rings. All these things sound like a fairy tale, but that's what Mary Kay wanted to do. She wanted women to know that for their hard work, she would treat them like a queen. Self-confidence, we talk a lot about in Mary Kay, because a lot of times we can look good on the outside, but we're struggling on the inside. But what I found is that when we surround ourselves with positive women, Mary Kay women who think about goals and talk about that and build each other up, that is the person I became. That's not who I was when I started Mary Kay, but it's who I became on this journey. And flexibility. I love working this business around my life, my church life, my kids' sports. I started when my daughter was a baby, and I've gone through this business, having infants, toddlers, teenagers now, and there are no territories.
Good
You
point,
can build
Tanya.
your business wherever you want. I've moved my business over and over again, from Austin, Texas to Bay City, Michigan, now to Houston, Texas. I love that. And of course, the car program. I talked about how we earned our first car. How Mary Kay does it is every other year you can qualify for another one. And ladies, I did think pink Cadillacs were tacky, and what I realized is they're tacky until you have one. And my husband does drive it, because he always says it's not pink on the inside. And it's a luxury vehicle. It's one of those fairy tale presents that Mary Kay wants us to earn so that we can represent our company, which is amazing. A debt-free company, ladies, after 50 years of being, in existence, and it's not going anywhere. Over $1 billion in sales, sold in over 37 countries. And Mary Kay's dream was simply to get our product out of Dallas, Texas. Isn't Isn't that amazing? They pay 85% of your insurance with that car, and you can take cash if you don't want that car. Isn't that amazing? Advancement. You can move in this business, or you can just set your goals and have $100 extra a week, because that's what I started off as. But then as I saw other people be successful, and I could help women get out of full-time jobs or have a plan B in case they lost their job or their husband, or to have something to look forward to in retirement, that is how you advance in Mary Kay. And it's amazing because now, ladies, I'm a six-figure work-at-home mom. That's how much money you can make in Mary Kay if you want to. That's the amazing thing. This is your business. And it was smart. You know, my husband told me, why not? Why not try it for $100? You get a designer bag. You know, you get
It's
over
not a
$400.
designer bag. Oh my God. I mean, it's not a designer bag. It's a vinyl, like plastic bag that you use to house all of the supplies that you schlep from appointment to appointment. Give me a break.
In retail product. You get over $150 in samples and supplies. They give you books to get started. And ladies, it is the best product out there to sell. We're ranked number one in skincare and color. And we're ranked number one for customer loyalty. In other words, you retain your customers because once they try it, they love it, and they fall in love. And ladies, you might be thinking, well, Nikki, this sounds great, but you have every reason not to try it. I understand. I did too. I didn't wear makeup. I'd never had sales experience. I didn't even know if I liked women. But you know what? Sometimes too, we think that maybe we have a feel of failure or a fear of success. And you know what? Sometimes we don't need to think logical about it. What it really breaks down to is if you tried Mary Kay and you joined your consultant's team, what is the worst thing that could happen to you? And the worst thing for me was that I could spend $100 and get my products that cost for the rest of my life. You know, why not look twice as good for half the price? But what is the best thing that could happen? And that's when I started dreaming. I started dreaming about things that I hadn't dreamed about before, like owning our own home, being debt-free, having college funds for our kids, which we didn't have growing up. You know, my husband came out of college with debt. I worked 3 to 4 jobs to pay for those things. And we wanted to make a different future for our lives. What do you want your future to be? That's what you want to ask yourself. You know, and if it's $100 decision that holds you back, I know that you can find a way, make a way. Ask someone to lend you that $100.
She says it all the time.
You know, borrow it from 10 different people and get $10, and you probably wouldn't even have to pay them back. But that's what you really want to ask yourself. Are you daring to dream? And you know what? What if you were great at this? I promise you that you will be mentored, you will be coached, you will be taught everything that you need to know. So maybe you want to take a chance on yourself, and maybe you just listen to this call so that you could get more information about why your consultant is so excited. So I challenge you to really think about these next 3 things that I'm going to have you share with your consultant. Number 1, you want to tell her what impressed you or what you were surprised about after listening to this incredible call. And number 2, I want you to share this password with her, and it is excellence, because I believe that this business is about excellence. The company is about excellence. The product is about excellence. And we want to be about excellence in our lives. And last but not least, I want you to share with your consultant on a scale of 1 to 4 after hearing this information where you are. Number 4 is, you know what? Absolutely. I'm going to give this a shot. It's a $100 decision. And I know I've spent, $100 on worse things. Basically, what Mary Kay is saying with that $100 decision is like you walking into your favorite store, mine is Target, and if a salesperson would walk up to me and say, Nikki, if you spent $100 today, you can come in here and get 50% off for the rest of your life, would you do it? Because ladies, how it works is that if you do become a consultant, there's a minimum order once a year. That's it. If you want to do more, you can. But to get your discount, it's placing at 200 wholesale, 400 retail once a year. And of course, you can do more if you want. You can have product on hand if you want. And if you decide to do that, there's a 90% bailout. In other words, I did invest in myself and my business. I chose to have product on my shelf so I could give great customer service and have higher sales at my parties so women could take it home right away. You know, that immediate gratification. We love that. But you know what? If I decide I didn't want to stay in Mary Kay, I could have sent it all back and got 90% back of what I paid. 90 cents on the dollar, ladies. So you know what? It's really not about Mary Kay taking a chance, or actually, it's not about you taking a chance on Mary Kay. It's about Mary Kay taking a chance on you.
Oh my God.
That's how amazing this company is. So number 4, if you tell your consultant this, you know, I'm going to try it for $100. What's the worst thing that could happen? What's the best thing that could happen? Tell her number 3, you know what, this is great information, but let me sleep on it. And I hope that you sleep on it and you dream pink. But if you want to talk to your husband, your significant other, your family about it, feel free. Share with them the news that you just learned about today. And number 2 is, you know what, I would like more information. Go to your consultant's website. Go to marykay.com. Check out the company. It's a Fortune 500
Oh, it
company.
is dated for sure.
It's ranked one of the top 10 companies for women to work for. It is amazing. And number 1 is, you know what, thank you for letting me listen to this information. I am happy paying full price, but I'm going to support my consultant. Ladies, thank you so much for your time. I hope that you learned more about Mary Kay, and whether it be for you or not, maybe you know somebody that you could pass this call along to, or tell your consultant that you have a friend or a family member that you think would benefit from an opportunity like Mary Kay, and share this with her. Thank you so much, and have a great day. God bless.
So that was the end of the call. The number that I picked when I first listened to this, what number did I pick? I either picked number 2 or number 4. The one that you was either like, hey, I need more information, and then I got on a 3-way call, and then I signed up. Or number 4. And here's the thing: we're military. By we, I mean my husband's military. I'm military spouse. We move around a lot, so I was thinking, if I could get, like, my dad's good at sales, my brother is good at sales, I'm okay at sales. I thought, hey, if she's talking about customer retention and that she already moves around a lot, she already has experience finding new customers, she's moved around 3 or 4 times, and she's saying that she keeps all the customers from the last place she lived, I could do that. I mean, if the company's going to ship it to the person, and I was
Absolutely.
thinking, like, I could do that too. And so I and again, all the stuff she was saying, like, I don't wear a lot of makeup, I never have worn a lot of makeup. She's saying that she didn't either, and she learned how to do it. That's something I connected with. She said the company's been around for a long time, that the products are good. I don't know. What else was she saying? She said that she made 6 figures a year. And I was like, I mean, if she could move around and sell and find customers, I can do that. And I was thinking, like, even if I could sell 120 retail and profit 60, I don't know. I was trying to do the half thing of, like, figuring out how much I could sell. And so yeah, after this call, we got on a 3-way call. And then it was unassuming, because she said, tell your family or your partner or your spouse about this. And, like, it didn't seem like she was trying to hide any information. And so I was excited. I at the time thought it was cool. And I liked the idea. I grew up in a Christian home. I liked what they said about God first, family second, career third. I liked the idea. The idea that they weren't going to push their business to take over time with family or whatever, but that's not exactly what happened. When I joined, there's a lot of Zoom calls, there's a lot of Facebook messages, there was a lot of time taken up dedicated to Mary Kay and to the team that sure was far and above the 8 hours a month that she was talking about at the beginning of the call. That, oh, you could earn this much with just doing 2 hours a week, 8 hours a month, and you'll be good. I was working 40 hours a week, and I wasn't, it was just, frustrating. But okay, so you listened to that call. Let's say you listened to that call. What is the first question that you would want to ask the recruiter? Or what's a question you would recommend to someone if they are faced with a recruiter like this? What's the number one question you ask?
So your friend, and so my first question to your friend would be, okay, so what you said you wanted me to help you with some questions. So what are some questions that you want to ask me that I can help you with?
Okay.
All right. In other words,
Ask
he
that
got
question.
me to listen to this 15-minute phone call.
Yeah.
That was obviously a marketing phone call, and so it's obviously she's not wanting me to help her with any practice that she's wanting to do. So my question is this. First of all, it doesn't seem like the numbers match. She said 8 hours a month for $400 of profit. It seems like unless somebody else is going to send these people to a meeting and I just show up, there's going to be a lot of I need to go out and reach out to people to be able to do that. So the numbers didn't make sense to me. The second thing she said is that she's making six figures. So my question is, if you're making six figures and you're willing to share that with me, what percentage of your six figures comes from your recruiting, and what percentage of your six figures comes from your own sales? Because if you're talking to me about selling and you're making, 10 grand a year from your sales and 90 grand a year or 200 grand a year from your recruiting, then I need to look at this very differently than if you're selling $160,000 a year and making $80,000 of quote unquote potential earnings.
Okay.
The second thing I would ask is, okay, well, I know that in most sales jobs there's usually costs that go along with the sales. What are some of the costs that you guys incur when you grow your business? And how does that work?
Okay.
The other thing I would ask is, now obviously you're being recruited by someone who doesn't have anybody on their team at that point in time, because her sales pitch is help me practice. But if you're going to talk to a director, I'd say, I'd like to talk with, 3 or 4 of your top people so I can understand from them what their challenges that they face are, and and what kind of income they make. Because if I'm being recruited to do this from an income perspective, if it's a part-time income, what am I going to be happy with from a part-time perspective? And is it reasonable and realistic that I can do that? And secondly, realistically, how much do I have to work, or how many hours a week do I have to work in order to expect the return that you're talking about? Because if I'm not good at sales, then obviously there's going to be a ramp up time to that. I've got to do more than the average person, which I'm okay with doing as long as I understand what does that look like. If I've got a 40-hour-a-week job, I can't put another 60 hours a week in there unless I really want to, and not have that impact my family and my sleep time and all the other things that I'm doing. And if I don't have a 40-hour-a-week job, obviously they're marketing to people that potentially don't have 40-hour-a-week jobs. Typically, it sounds like, at least that's the way the call sounded. Then what does that look like? What does the schedule look like? What does the meeting schedule look like? Obviously a lot of things are done via Zoom right now. What does that Zoom schedule look like? So that I understand realistically where it's going to go. If I go into it wanting to make, $800 a month, then I'm probably going to be working, realistically 80 to 100 hours a month at least in the beginning, if I'm going to make that much money. So that's a half-time job. That's 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
To get that one meeting and to make those sales.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking, it's a weird feeling going and listening back to stuff that you were like, oh man, I'm disappointed in myself, but I'm just, so let's say you follow up and you ask those questions about how much is it costing to, run, like, what do the expenses look like for running your business? and let's say you don't get a detailed answer from the person who's trying to recruit you. What's a follow-up question you can have to that person to try to hone in or get them to actually give you straight answers?
Okay, DC, I hear what you're telling me. So you don't really have that information available. Who would be the best person to talk to that I could find that out from? If you don't track that information, you don't record it. It doesn't sound like you're really approaching it from a business perspective. It's more like kind of you're doing it more on a casual basis. Who could I speak with that is doing it more like a business that would have access to that kind of information?
Okay.
And ultimately, someone does. Now they may not share it with me, and that's fine. But I'd want to know realistically what percentage of that 50% potential profit that I would be getting, that I would be realistically be looking to spend in order to be able to keep the rest. Is it, and as it gets bigger, does that get smaller or larger? Is it a variable cost where it would stay the same the whole way through? We talked about this last week on that Beachbody thing. We're talking about variable cost versus fixed cost.
All right.
Or is it a fixed cost that would shrink over time? Hold on just a second. Sarge, get out of there. Thank you. Good boy. Good boy.
Real quickly, Harper, happy birthday. I hope you have a wonderful evening with friends. I know I said happy birthday on Instagram earlier, but I hope you have a wonderful birthday.
A salmon birthday cake? Is that what she said she was having?
Salmon and a birthday cake. Oh,
what a jerk.
Yeah. That's okay. You're our jerk, so you're our jerk, so we love it.
That's right. I'm a lovable jerk.
Yeah.
So, but that's more from a technical perspective. From a marketing perspective, questions I would ask would be, if I'm listening to it as a young lady, because I obviously don't wear makeup, and most of the people that half the people I work with, I guess, do. So I potentially would have customers that I could talk to. But makeup isn't something that, as much as it's a consumable, that I get motivated about to think about growing my business in.
Right.
So it wouldn't necessarily be a first choice for me. But if it was something I was really fired up about and excited about, the other question that would come to me would be, sorry about that.
Sorry, Sonia.
Well, the other question that would come to me would be, is the questions that you had about traveling and being able to continue with customers. If I grow my business over time and I grow my people over time, one thing I've heard is that sometimes the people that you recruit and the people that they recruit don't necessarily stay with the same organization. They get cut off and become part of their own organization or another. How does that work? I would want to know more about how the whole process works. If I work for somebody else, if I'm working under someone else and I grow my business large enough, how does it work where I become, split off from them? I'd want to find out about that, because it would seem to me if someone was making $100,000 to $200,000 a year, that most of their income would be coming from recruiting and not sales.
Yeah.
It just would seem that way to me. Unless they were a fabulous salesperson that had a massive customer base. And, at $5 or $10 a bottle for makeup, or $20 or whatever the number is, that's a whole bunch of makeup.
Yeah. So you get an award for the Queen's Court of Sales or something like that in Mary Kay. So if you sell, I think $20,000, so at retail $40,000, and she would do that every year. So it was only $20,000 of sales to her customers. She may have sold more, but her whole area was selling about $850,000 dollars of volume. And I
Retail
think
or
wholesale. I don't remember if it was retail or wholesale. Maybe Melissa knows. Ding, ding, ding! Give the man a prize. I think that was from your comment earlier, XCAL. But so she would hit that, but I don't think she'd ever like sold. So there was an award in Mary Kay for the individual salesperson who sold the most, not having to do with recruiting, and she would be the queen. And it could be a consultant, which is no team, or it could be a director, I think.
Okay.
If you order $20,000 wholesale from the company, they give you a ring and you get to walk across the stage in a gown and heels at seminar.
You know, that wouldn't motivate me that much.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But she did, I mean, a lot of her money, if not most of her money, was coming from recruiting. And from what I understand, she was always trying to get to national sales director. Her sister hit national sales director maybe 10 years ago. And Nikki, my director, has never been able to get to that position. She was a senior executive sales director. You needed to develop 20 directors underneath you and do a certain amount of volume to be a national sales director. And she would always lose her directors for some reason. So now
I would be, as I understood the structure more, I'd be wanting to find out, you know, what is it about at the director level, how much are they making, and why is it that the directors aren't staying around? In other words, why is someone who's supposedly as successful as a director would choose to leave the company? You know, those would be questions that I would be asking just to find out about what the landscape is. Now, here's the reality from the sales perspective. If you're motivated to be in sales and you're, you know, on a sales team, there's people in the sales team that are wildly successful, and there's people in the sales team that are unsuccessful. And in order for you to be successful, you're going to have to pay a price that the unsuccessful people don't pay.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. So, but at the same time, you know, I'd want to find out if someone is at a director level, that would seem to me to be a level of success. So what would motivate them to walk away from that? Why would the choice of not being there be better than the choice of being there, with the fact that they were supposedly making a lot more money and accomplishing a lot more of their goals? That would be a disconnect for me. I would want to find out more about that.
Okay. That's a good point. And again, relatively, when I was looking into this, I didn't even know like about the compensation structure of Mary Kay. I was, you know, I naively was looking at it from a perspective of, wow, I'm going to join my friend's team. She and this director are going to help train me. I'm going to learn how to sell makeup, and maybe other people are going to want to join my team. But I was focused on sales because I was like, over 365 days, I'm trying to sell $120,000 and I'm trying to I'm trying to, you know, earn 60 and then pay taxes. So maybe 45,000 or something. And I was like, I could do that. This is how much I have to sell a month. And so that's what that was my perspective.
Sure.
And then, so the girl that I signed up with, XCAL, she recruited the 20 people underneath her to hit director in about a month.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say her last name, but you remember Bethany, right?
No, I know who she is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's not a salesperson. She's not, so I thought, wow, she's recruiting all these people. If she can do it, and I have maybe slightly more of an inclination to be able to learn how to do sales, I can do that too. So seeing how quickly she grew her team to get to that director level and how much volume she did in those first that qualification period, I was like, I could do this too. And that, you know, that didn't happen. And then she ended up leaving because it was too much. It was just, there was a lot of things going on. And then this lady that we just heard on the call kind of disparaged her for, you know, not being committed and not wanting to get an assistant and not wanting to do all this stuff. And I wish at the time I would have said, you know, that doesn't really sound like her. It doesn't sound like my friend I knew. It was kind of an emotional thing to having been spent that much time that year before seminar trying to sell to strangers, spending 40 hours a week selling, basically. I mean, getting leads, following up with leads, scheduling stuff out, getting ready for my, you know, facials at people's homes, having people over to our apartment for facials, and then you're driving to seminar, and then you get a voice message that your friend, your director's not going to be there because she has quit the company. So it was just kind of that's a shock. So, but, yeah, you won't get a straight answer from people who are still in. That's true. You have to find a former director to ask him. And that's again, it's one of the problems for me is just knowing the right questions to ask and knowing when I'm not getting a straight answer, because I'm the type of person where I'm like, well, I asked you a question and I guess you did your best to answer it. And it, and XCAL is the kind of person where if he will keep asking a similar question, maybe slightly different, to get them to answer the question he really wants the answer to. And my perspective is I was courageous and I asked one question. So, you know, I'm going to ask the next question. So yeah.
Yeah, I think, but I think in fairness, that really, that's a learned trait, or people are very much, they know where they want to land. And so they're trying to get there. They're trying to find out where they're going to land. What I mean by where they're going to land, they know what they need to understand. And so they'll continue to chip away until they get the information that we're trying to get in the first place. And I think that's a learned skill to a large extent. And I think that the way you learn it is, you know, trial and error, unless you have a really good teacher who teaches you those things and helps you understand how, you know, what it is that you're after and how to continue to go in there and dig for the information.
Yeah. And I guess I'm hoping to add more of these type of videos to my channel, because while I obviously fall on the side of I'm not a fan of multi-level marketing, I know XCAL is more neutral and fair-minded. But if you are dead set on joining a multi-level marketing company, I would love for you to go in prepared, being able to ask better questions, being able to position yourself in a better way. If those questions mean that you don't lose as much money or that you are able to make money faster in a multi-level marketing company but through sales, great. If it means that you get questions answered that help you maybe decide that this isn't right for you, great. But you know, being able to ask good questions and get answers that would help you make a good financial decision seems important. And I wish when I joined Mary Kay that I would have asked better questions and I would have been able to like know better questions to ask and know when I wasn't getting good answers, if that makes sense.
I think it's also an ongoing process too, because there's a lot of people that join multi-level marketing with the best of intentions, and frankly, they plan on working hard to be successful. But through the process, there's a difference between you know, mediocre leadership and good leadership. There's a difference between people that are legitimately trying to build and grow their organization and doing the things they need to do to be able to help their people grow, and not. And so there's probably a wide gulf. There's probably a small percentage of people that do a great job, probably a larger number that do an average job, and then there's a whole bunch that frankly don't really have a clue and doing the things that other people tell them to do. and
Yeah.
and that can lead to disappointment because they're not sure why they're not accomplishing what they set out to do in the first place. They're not seeing the success right away, and it's easy if you don't get that success in the beginning to just say, okay, fine, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'd rather not do it than do something this poorly.
Yeah. And I think they're probably, I mean, I haven't found the people doing great at network marketing, multi-level marketing, where there feels, and again, obviously the people who are doing it poorly get highlighted on our channels. I've enjoyed trying to find a range of calls where there's some good stuff going on and maybe some bad stuff going on too. I think that's also more reflective of maybe what you might run into in a multi-level marketing situation with teams. There's a wide variety of, again, good leaders like XCAL is saying, and not as good leaders, good trainers, good sales trainers. But I don't know. It's just again, the more I know, the I feel like the better prepared I am. And again, I wish I would have known some of these things when I first signed up for Mary Kay. I wish I would have known some more of them from Young Living. While shutting down questions of critical thinking, that should be a huge red flag to make you stop and think. Again, it's hard. So if you're the type of person like XCal, someone presenting you with information or butting up against you with a question doesn't deter him. Someone like me, I don't know how I would describe it. I feel like, oh man, they're kind of acting aggressive and upset that I even asked a question. Did I ask a stupid question? And then you're like trying to gain your footing back to try to because you legitimately have those questions, but maybe you're thinking, did I miss something when they said it in the pitch? Yeah, that's the stuff that I run into when I've tried to be plugged in and engaged, and it's still some stuff I have to overcome myself when questions shouldn't be offensive to other people. I don't think questions should be offensive, because if you have a question, it means you're looking for answers. And sometimes what I've run into in multi-level marketing situations where, like in Young Living, when I ask questions, it wasn't taken very well. I don't know if you could speak to that, XCal, what if someone is more of a timid person or they're not comfortable asking questions, is there a perspective that you could offer to either help them get practice or help them think about it differently so they'd be more comfortable asking questions?
So when you feel uncomfortable in that question asking process, it usually comes about as a result of the fact that you've gotten some emotion back in the answer, or B, they come back with a question to you that questions the validity of the question. And it's always good to have something that gives you a chance to think. And something and a phrase that comes to mind in a situation like that is, well, I'm glad you brought that up, or I'm glad you shared that, and just pause and then say, the reason I asked that is blank. Here's why I asked that question. I'm trying to understand where this, and then you re-ask the question. And so I hope that that doesn't frustrate you that I'm continuing to ask that, but I really would like to understand that better. And when people, normally people aren't, they want to help you understand things. And so rather than seeing that come across like a challenge, it gives you an opportunity to get them to, hopefully get them to a point where they'll at least continue in the question answering mode as opposed to the question asking mode. but I think having a phrase or something that will help you regroup, and maybe sometimes even acknowledging, hey, it sounds like you're a little bit frustrated, and certainly I didn't intend for my question to create to get you frustrated, but here's what I'm trying to understand. So if I'm trying to understand something, I'm not threatening you. I'm just trying to educate myself. And so it allows you sometimes to push boundaries that they don't want to get pushed.
Mm.
And so that's a part of where, one approach to take in a situation like that is to acknowledge that you're not trying to create, trying to get them frustrated. And it sounds like they're a little frustrated, because when you share that, in other words, I'm not saying that you're frustrated. It just sounds that way to me. So it sounds like you're frustrated right now. So I'm not challenging you. It just sounds like you're frustrated. And what I was hoping to do was understand this. In other words, here's a very reasonable approach that I'm taking to get an answer to a question so that I can educate my dumb self on what this is.
Mm.
And so how could that be threatening to someone? And many times that can, in fact, I did that today with one of the VPs I was talking to, who I'm trying to work with.
Mm. Oh, she wants to remain anonymous, but do you remember that person I was telling you about who found us, who we had worked with?
Yes.
She said to say hello. We've been going back and forth in my DM. So she said,
Cool.
say hi to XCAL for me. And so she's probably watching. She's kind of anonymous on social, but she said she'd be watching the live stream. So
cool. Hey, DC, the plant whisperer came back. So they want to know where that came from, where your little
tree came from, planter tree.
The holder, the plant holders came from.
Let me try to remember where it was from. I don't know.
We'll link you on my D.
Lobby, but what's that other store that's
Michael's?
It was
Bed Bath & Beyond.
No, definitely not.
Walmart, Target.
That was a good try. No, not a big box store. It was like a craft store.
Okay.
Joanne.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
DC, you rock.
It was Joanne's. It was on sale for like $5.
Ooh.
Oh.
It has these cool links, so you can make it. Well,
there you go.
You can make it,
cool.
The length that you want.
Is there any brand name on the bottom or anything that they could look it up on Amazon or something?
Jump over and see.
You're stupid.
Sister.
No, but if I figure it out, I'll let you know.
Dave he lives in New Zealand, and he just asked, "Are we family vlogging now?" And the answer, Dave, is yes, we are.
Okay, you don't tip it over.
I'm holding it up so we can see.
Oh, like your eyes can see better than my eyes? Seriously?
Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna exit out of this chat. We can just watch them argue. It's the best.
Oh god.
Both y'all and you're lucked out with the glasses wearing, and I know. Okay. This is better than the LeBrant family. Oh my gosh. Caspian! Oh my gosh. Start a prank channel. Yeah. We'll have to. Oh my gosh. So live chat, did y'all like this conversation? Was it helpful? What I'm gonna do is I'm going to export the transcript of it, and I'm gonna put the questions in the description so it could be a resource. Sorry, my dog is squeaking his little lammy. Could be a resource for you guys. So yeah, I mean, XCal's logic is always reigns supreme. It might get you blocked in a Zoom chat, but we can only hope for the best. Live chat. While we have XCal on, what would y'all want him to react to next week? We're trying to make this a weekly thing. Is there a company or a MLM leader? I was thinking about showing him Eric Worre, but
But you were concerned about that?
oh no, his last name is Worre, Worre, pronounced
Oh,
Worry, which
darn
is
trying to get a dad joke in there. Just missed
missed it by that much.
that much.
Oh, Jesse Lee Ward. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Eric Worre, okay. Jesse Lee Ward. Replay crew, leave your recommendation. Awick Woes. Yep. Okay. So Eric Worre is he creates classes for multi-level marketers, and one of his masterminds costs $25,000 for the year. So he has a lot of people.
$1,000 for the year? Are you kidding me?
Yep. And so he has a multi-million-dollar studio that he does all of these conferences at, and he specifically rank makers. Ooh, okay, maybe rank makers. He's pretty angry. Okay, we have some really good recommendations. I will try to find some content. I'm gonna let XCAL look at it beforehand, so it's not it's head of the House of Slytherin. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna let him look at it beforehand so he can. XCAL live reacting is a great experience, but when he can mull over some things, and it's even better, if you can imagine. So not to hype him up too much, but we already are huge fans of XCAL. So I know. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate the support. Replay crew, you know we love you in a non-culty way. Let us know what you think in the comment section, and we will be back. Let me see if I have this correctly. I don't. Oh, no. I was going to try to do the outro, but I don't think I can. We're going to do our best. All right. I'm going to try to do the outro, and hopefully it works. Okay. Have a good evening. We'll see you next time.
Everyone.
Bye.
Why XCAL?
That's my